Hello, we are FTC Team 7105, and in this video we will be discussing how to make the team section of the FTC Engineering Journal. The team section is one of the required journal sections. You must have this section in your journal to win awards. In this video we will be talking about all the information you must include in your team section. This section should include bios for each team member, any sponsor information you might have, and your outreach information. Often teams split this section into two sections, one for the team and one for the outreach, but whether or not you decide to do that is up to you. First, we are going to be talking about team bios. Each of your student members, coaches, and mentors must have a bio. In the bios, you need to include the name of the member, only the first name, not the last, the age of the member's team role, and any reasons that member had for joining first. It's also a good idea to add some personal fun facts and pictures to the bios, just to make things more interesting and fun. Here are some bio examples from our team. The one on the left is from our first year, and the one on the right is from our 6th year. They both include the name, age, team role of each member, and then they have a brief paragraph explaining what each member does on the team and why they joined. Besides team member bios, your team section needs to include your outreach information. You can leave your outreach information in the team section or put it in its own section, but whichever you decide to do, it needs to include 4 things: event descriptions, pictures, the hours, and the estimated impact. First, you need to have a paragraph or page dedicated to each individual outreach activity or event, summarizing what you did at the outreach event and also why it was important and impactful. Some common outreach activities include mentoring junior FLL, or other FTC teams, teaching classes for other teams, volunteering at FLL competitions, and giving robot demonstrations for your school or community. Whatever outreach activities your team does, you need to record each individual event. You should have lots of pictures from each event. It is important to have photographic evidence of your outreach. Also, you should record how many hours you spend on outreach. Even if you don't record the hours for each individual event, at least try to record the total. A helpful way to keep track of outreach hours is to make a Google form that you can send out to all of your team members, and then whenever someone participates in outreach, they fill out the form explaining what they did and for how long. And you should also try to calculate your impact. Like the hours, you should try to calculate the impact for each individual event, but if you can't do that, at least do the total. Impact is harder to keep track of than hours, because with hours, you just have to record how long you ran each outreach event. But with impact, depending on what sort of outreach it is, you may have to estimate. For example, one year we ran summer camps and we were able to get the exact impact from that because we knew exactly how many kids signed up. But when we held a demonstration at our town Springfest, we had to make an estimate on what our impact was. Finally, your team section needs to include sponsor information if you have any. Not all teams get their funding from sponsors, but if you do, then you should include your sponsor names and logos in your team section. So that's how to meet the requirements for the team section of the journal. You can also include extra information in your team section to make it more creative and interesting if you like. The content discussed in this video is just the bare minimum of things your team section could contain. Thank you for watching this video. To learn more about the required sections of the Engineering Journal, be sure to check out our other videos.